This evening we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson at a somewhat misty Rookery Hill, where the Saints have drawn 1-1 with East Thurrock United. First 25-30 minutes, Ian, I thought we were superb. It looked like it's only going to be one side in it. Then they got a penalty, somewhat disputed, and that's the way it finished, 1-1. You happy with that?
I think in the end we have to be satisfied with the draw, but I think you summed it up in one go. I think for 25 minutes it was probably some of the best football we've played, not only probably this season but last season and from the time we've been here. I mean, we moved the ball so quickly, we were on the front foot, deservedly in front, and then as you say the game changes and hinges on a decision for me that is very, very dubious. You know, I spoke to the lads in the changing room and they blatantly said it wasn't a handball, and there's so many bodies there, and for the referee to give a decision from 25-30 yards away, it's a tough decision to make. I still think it's the referee making up for the shot that happened literally before the corner, where it's hit Lane Eady on the arm. They've appealed for it, it's come back in the box, it's messing around in the box. There's probably 8 or 9, 10 bodies in there, and how the referee can pick up a handball from where he was standing. So I think he's making up for the decision that happened before then.
During those 25-30 minutes, our passing was sharp, our play was fast, and we looked extremely lively, but I think it was only 2 shots on target, and that was the problem. Yeah,
we've had some other opportunities and a couple of other chances, but again, you know, you've got to give East Thurrock a little bit of credit. I mean, they're sitting 3rd or 4th in the league. They only lost their first game on Saturday, so it was never going to be easy coming here and taking all 3 points. You know, they've got a good record all season, so I've just got to be really pleased with the way we played. And you know, I'm the first to criticise the way we've played on Saturday. I didn't think we played with any purpose, with any sharpness, but tonight we've come out and we've just changed it around again. So, and that's the consistency we have to get. As I've said all along, you know, we are a young side, but some of them players have to be consistent week in, week out. Can't just turn up when they fancy it. And Saturday we didn't really turn up, where tonight again we've come here and I felt we put on a really good performance. Had 1 or 2 half chances in the second half. I know Zane had a header and Reece again had a shot that hit somebody on the head. I mean, I think we all thought it hit Charlie Walker on the head, but I've been told in the change room it hit their centre half. So again, you know, I've got to be pleased. You know, Dean's made a couple of saves late on, but overall, you know, considering you know, a Tuesday night, 3 days after what we've had, and I think this was our 5th or 6th game in the last 18 days. You know, I'm really pleased with the players tonight.
Well, that's a good thing about the second half, although, as you said, East Thurrock finished very strongly towards the end there. At the start of the second half, having the momentum gone against us at the end of the first half, we actually came out quite strongly again.
Yeah, and that's what we spoke in there. You know, we said that the referee's decision had obviously taken a little bit of sting away from us. It had obviously give East Thurrock a lift, because at the time I felt they were getting a little bit frustrated. They were throwing bodies forward, and I felt they were there for the counter-attack, especially when there was 1-0 up. Unfortunately, the referee's decision, you know, it evens the game up. It gives them the incentive to get forward, and as I say, for the last 15 minutes of the first half, they were probably the better side. But again, as we've said before, you know, it's the advantage of getting back on level terms and taking the game to us. But I felt the boys at half time, we sat them down, we got them organised again, we spoke about being disciplined and not feeling frustrated, because that's the big thing. A lot of them felt a little bit disappointed at half time with the decision, but we came out second half and we started bright again, and you know, as I say, full credit to East Thurrock, because they came back in the last 20 minutes, they threw some extra bodies forward. I just felt in the last 20 minutes our ball retention, if that could have been a little bit better, I think we could have gone on and got a goal, but unfortunately we gave it away a little bit cheap. I think a few of the lads, you know, Lane Eady and Percy, haven't played really as much as some of the other boys, and they got a little bit tired just coming towards the end of the game. And then obviously David Noble started to tire, and I thought he was outstanding tonight, David. He just just felt his hamstring again late on there. So, but again, so it's just, you know, we've got to take it. I'm pleased we've come away and picked a point up. It keeps us, you know, going where we need to go, which is, you know, points here, points there, and we can keep pushing up the league and see where we are, as we said, when we get to the Christmas period now, and see what we need to do. Obviously, we've got FA Cup Saturday, so it's nice to get away from the league for a week, and then we meet Bath at home on Saturday week.
You mentioned you weren't happy with Saturday's performance, and there were 3 changes tonight, but all of them, they were forced upon you.
They were forced, but I'd already said to the players on Saturday that I would be making changes, you know, over the 2 games, because I just felt that there's, you know, 6 games in 15-16 days was going to be tough for everybody to play. So we'd already decided that, you know, whatever we do tonight, we might just freshen it up a little bit, and some players do need to get some minutes under the game, because we can't leave them on the bench all the time. So unfortunately, with Tom Gardner and Harold Joseph, we, you know, not a lot we could do with that one, Tony went down with the virus again today. So we just got to see what we've got. I mean, as I said before, we've got quite a big squad, and we've got players that can fill in every position we need to do. You can see young Percy tonight. You know, he's come in at centre half and was outstanding for us. But we know he can do that. So he can play right back, he can play centre half, he can play central midfield. So we're fortunate we've got players we can do that. And we, it showed tonight by the way we've gone out there, and we've still got 3 good subs as well. So it was fine for what we had tonight.
Sam Merson started tonight. He got injured just before half-time. You had to put Charlie Walker on, who I believe was also carrying an injury. Were you tempted to put Kingsley on at that time? You left him until towards the end of the game?
I was, yeah. I mean, as you say, I just spoke to Charlie, and Charlie was fine. I mean, he had a dead leg from Saturday, that's all it was. So, but we just didn't want to risk him playing with a dead leg. But he did the warm-up, and I spoke to him after the warm-up. He was fine. He said it had actually eased off now. So, and he's played there for nearly an hour tonight, and he's felt fine after the game. Sam's come around quite well. He just had a bit of a bang to the head. He didn't get knocked out or anything like that. So we just got to assess him over the next 24, 48 hours. But hopefully he'll be fine for Saturday now. So. And Tom Gardner should be fit. Harold Joseph hopefully will be back. So we should be back to a full-strength side for Saturday.
You mentioned consistency in the side. It's frustrating to think, had we played like this Saturday, we probably would have been beaten Whitehawk and we'd now be top of the table again.
Yeah, and that's, we have to look at them sort of things, and as we said, the consistency side of it. But again, sometimes you've got to realise that when you're in that top 3 or 4, and we proved when we went top of the table that Braintree raised their game against us and showed us a lot of respect. Gloucester again did exactly the same. And in them 2 defeats, we probably didn't reach the peaks that we had done. So we've got to learn that, if you're going to be in the top 3 or 4 of a league, any league, you have to learn to overcome all the physical side of the game and the mental side of the game. And then when you get a chance to go and play your football, you need to go and do it. But first and foremost, you have to work extremely hard, and you have to work harder than the opposition. And I think if you watch some of the football over the weekend and you see people like Jose Mourinho and the people like that, they demand their players to work hard, and this is what we're trying to do here. And every now and then we just fall below them standards, and when we fall below the standards, the performances don't reach what we require. But all we can do is keep demanding, and sometimes it's tough on the lads, but they've got to learn. If they want to be in this football team, they've got to reach a standard that's going to be good for them. As we said, Jose Mourinho, if one matter doesn't work hard enough, he's not in the side, and that's what we've got to find here. At times we drop our standards, and we've got to maintain a standard every single game, work harder than the opposition, and I believe the quality we've got in the team will always shine through and go and win us games. Tonight the quality for the first 20-25 minutes was outstanding. Our movement, the way we passed the ball, and as I say, full credit to East Thurrock, because they went and put an extra man and defended a little bit more in terms of getting bodies behind the ball, and they broke it up a little bit more than what we expected. But as I say, the boys stayed strong. Dubious, terrible penalty given against us, but we still managed to see the game out and come away with a very hard-earned point. So
we move on to Saturday, the FA Cup. Bridport are at Clarence Park. They're about 3 divisions below us. People will expect us to win. You saw them last week. What's your opinion?
It'll be a very tough game. They've already played 4 games in the FA Cup. I think they started in the extra preliminary round. So, and again, I see enough there last week to know that they can cause us problems. And if we don't approach it right mentally and physically, and we don't go and apply ourselves, then we're going to make life very difficult for ourselves. We see against Cambridge City, if we don't apply yourself, you make things difficult. And in terrible conditions last week, they did a good job on Cadbury Heath in the end. Felt first half they were outstanding, Bridport, and if we don't match them in terms of their endeavour, their enthusiasm and their quality, because they have got some quality, they've got some players that have played at a higher level, might be a little bit older now but on their way down, but if we're not right and if we don't approach the game correctly, then we could be on the end of a shock. So we've got to make sure that we approach it properly. We start again on Thursday night. The boys have been great tonight, and we're going to prepare properly, and hopefully we can pick up the win that keeps us into the FA Cup and puts us in the draw for Monday. Of
course, we know the excitement the FA Cup can generate from last year and Carlisle United.
Without a shadow of a doubt, and this is what we speak to the players, the new players that wasn't here, we tell them what happened that time. We've just got to let them know that 3,500 people in St Albans and in Clarence Park is a massive achievement, and they made a lot of noise, and people like Junior Moraes, who scored 2 again last week, his goal got I think to the top 10 of the FA Cup. So it just shows you could get a draw and end up the TV again and the cameras being there, and some of these players could end up being superstars if they do it correctly, and that's the way they've got to approach it. Approach it right on Saturday. If we do it right, then hopefully we'll be in the draw on Monday. If we don't approach it right, we don't apply ourselves, then it's going to be a tough fixture.
Thanks so much, Ian, and congratulations on another decent point. And we look forward to Saturday then, the FA Cup third round qualifying at Clarence Park, St Albans City against Bridport. Kick-off is at 3 p.m.